Well, guys, you see, Ukraine still goes on the mid-strikes. This is the Russian convoy. 3 of the fuel trucks and 0 of the Russian air defense vehicles. Well, it's kind of the strange decision to put everything together. I think the best variant would be 2 air defense vehicles for 1 truck and separate them. But maybe Russia is in lack of the resources. Nevertheless, they help Ukraine a lot to concentrate the efforts in one specific spot. And what I want to say that objectively Ukraine performs less of those mid-range strikes, nevertheless the precision is very high. And you know what? The Russian air defense doesn't help. They put some of the AA cannons there, but it seems like the Russian soldiers, they have the poor precision. They're like those stormtroopers from the Star Wars. By the way, the job was performed by Magyar drone unit. And where is the first drone? I think the aft vehicle was targeted the first. And this is the image that comes from the drone itself. On the bottom you may see a vehicle, Russian air defense, all-terrain vehicle also. And here it goes, yeah, it should go. It is coming right across the air defense track. Well, I'm not sure if you see, but there is the white dot here. Yeah, I'll use my favorite image editor, which is called Paint in Microsoft. Well, here you can see this white dot is a drone, and it overflown basically the Russian air defense truck and hit the fuel truck right into the butt. Here, let's watch it. So it goes and sorry guys, I cannot play you the kaboom itself as the video here because of the platform restrictions. Nevertheless, we can see the aftermath in those still images. So the air defense vehicle went into this ball of fire. Yeah, this is kind of the interesting outcome for both the truck and the Russian army vehicle. Well, I guess the driver of the truck, and it's the commercial one, I think he is okay. He lost the trailer though and stopped, but the Russian air defense, it seems like it is gone in this fuel fire. Yeah, this is the Russian air defense Ural. It is gone. It was following the truck, and on top there was the AA cannon. Nevertheless, the convoy proceeded forward, so 2 air defense Ural trucks left and 2 of the remaining fuel trucks. I can imagine those talks on the radio between them. We lost 2 of the vehicles, but it was not the end for them, because Magyar drone birds, they hunt those down as well. So the aft vehicle once again was hit. Boom, yeah, a little bit forward from the vehicle, but it was enough to damage it significantly. So it went off the road sideways and went on fire also, like it is gone. But the air defense Ural was saved. So from all of this convoy, immediately, like in a matter of several minutes, Russia lost 3 of the vehicles, 2 fuel trucks and 1 air defense army one. So it shortened down to what it should be actually, 1 fuel truck and 2 of the air defense. So the question is how profitable it is to use those vehicles to defend the Russian convoys. It seems like those soldiers, they don't have the adequate information of where the drone, for example, is coming from. Well, maybe they have the warning signal of upcoming threat, and the Ukrainians, they also developed those kind of the small portable systems. It is called Chuyka. So when it feels the signal, it screams like the drone is coming, but it cannot define the direction. And for Russia, it is like that. So Russian soldiers have to screen entire sky. And for human, it is hard to do. It's not the Second World War where those fighters were kind of big. Those are the small drones. It's very, very hard to spot it in the sky. So this result is of course expected. And again, Ukrainian drone army and Magyar drone birds unit. My friends, just a short reminder, which is crucial to support this channel. Please press your like to this video just right now while you're watching it. And also subscribe to the channel. We are on a way to reach 1 million subscribers. Hopefully, it's gonna happen soon. My friends, also if you have this opportunity, you may support my job on Patreon. The link for it is in the video description right below, or join membership of a YouTube channel by pressing button join. Guys, you're amazing. Thank you for making my job possible. And let's continue with the video. And before I share those videos, so again, you have some of the Russian army vehicle on the back. Maybe, is there some of the AA cannon on this KAMAZ? I'm not sure, but yeah, there is the air defense cannon. And here we have loads of the trucks. And of course, Ukrainian drones, they nail everything of that down. I had the question about Luftwaffe. Oh, well, Luftwaffe is the name for the Air Force in German. So they still have Luftwaffe actually. Not just in the Second World War it was Luftwaffe, but Luftwaffe in Germany is now. Okay, so Luftwaffe is the Air Force. And one of the units named themselves after it. They also use German-made drones. And this is not the swastika or something. This is the standard, like, German, some of their crosses, okay? This kind of the cross is, I guess, the symbol of the German Bundeswehr. And it is out there still on German jets, so nothing connected to Nazism or something is out there. So Luftwaffe is Luftwaffe, some of the Air Force, but Ukraine operates with the drones. So Ukrainians are not using those old symbols of Luftwaffe, okay? The images of those attacks on the convoys were also shared by the Russian military channels, and they have their own comments about it. They say that despite the shift in focus from reports of attacks on Russian logistics to strikes on Russian Wildberries warehouses, Ukrainian armed forces have not ceased the attacks on Russian trucks. On the contrary, Ukrainian side is increasingly using new drones for such operations. In footage released by the enemy, so by Ukraine from their perspective, several fuel trucks were struck in the area of Primorsk, Zaporizhia region. The attack was clearly coordinated and well prepared, and even the escort provided by several vehicles from the Ministry of Internal Affairs failed to prevent it. And here we have the geolocation. This is the road R280, a crucial one for supplies of Crimea. It is connecting Rostov-on-Don and the southern regions of Ukraine, including Zaporizhia, Kherson Oblast. This is the place where the first truck was hit. They were heading towards Crimea, by the way, and this is the second strike. I would say recently Ukraine is definitely concentrated on those few trucks. Maybe Ukraine now has to save those Hornet drones to use them effectively and just against the most juicy targets, because the main production facility was targeted by Russians. Hopefully Ukraine has more of the production, but it's just a matter of time when Ukraine goes back to those strikes full scale. You see that they're happening, and this is good.
Снова информативное видео.
Okay, this is the video from the Russian soldier. They were capable to intercept the Ukrainian Ram-2X drone, one of the most capable drones the Ukrainian army has. By the way, there is the new modification with two of the engines, advanced gimbal, and it may carry already more of the payload. Well, this is the German-made drone, or made in cooperation with Ukraine and for Ukraine in Germany. And this is one of the best tools the Ukrainian army has for the mid-range strikes, and of course Hornet drones, which are made in cooperation or collaboration with the United States of America.
Это как полигон.
Yeah, so this Russian soldier says, and de facto it's like that many of the companies, they send equipment to Ukraine, Ukraine constructs those drones, Ukraine designers cooperate, and they use the Western-made technologies. And Russia also uses Western components in its weaponry, but not as much as Ukraine. If Russia has the black market of the spare parts, they cannot plan like how many drones they might produce, but Ukraine has the full access, and it's the advantage of Ukraine.
Этот аппарат с ночной камерой, видите?
So yeah, a gimbal, night vision, thermal camera, and standard HD camera with a very good zoom. Guys, I promised you minus one more wild breeze today. Well, here we go. A new volcano in Russia, and this storage or warehouse is one of the biggest in Wildberries network.
Вот он, пидор, блядь.
Yeah, this is the storage in Vladimir, and it was the main hub center between Moscow, St. Petersburg, and the rest of Russia. It was not just the storage, but some of the intermediate facility, where the parcels are being looked through and transited. Yeah, I think several of the fire origins, so several of the drone strikes were there. And it's just the start, later on it turned to complete full-scale volcano, like we see on those images, so similar to oil storages. This is the personnel of Wildberries. They were evacuated before. Yeah, uniform, purple, as usual. Yeah, this is the best protection against the drones. Wildberries employees were given those construction helmets, alright. Well, good thing for them that they left the facility before. And this is Belgorod. There is some sort of the institute that was designing some of the components for the Russian military, and it was kaboomed the last night. Yeah, I'm not sure what kaboomed it. The strike was significant. Maybe it was the FP5 Flamingo missile. Just yesterday it was spotted, I would say, at the record low altitude flying over Russian Federation. Like few meters. And because this missile is kind of vulnerable to the Russian air defense, maybe Ukraine is experimenting, sending it very, very low, but it's also kind of risky. Because up front there could be some of the constructions, wires, towers, buildings, yeah. Very risky. But since the missile is relatively cheap, Ukraine may experiment. And you see what Ukraine has, this is the short-range air defense system STASH. So if Russians had something like that, maybe Ukraine wouldn't be so successful. But Ukraine has the access to the Western technologies, and this one was already tested and used widely against the Russian drones, which continue to hit Ukrainian infrastructure. Of course, it's a more expensive system, but at the same time it is very effective against the flying drones compared to AA cannons. And it's the sunflower season in Ukraine. Nice. Group 13. This is the Ukrainian drone unit that operates with the drone boats and also FPV drones. This is the part of the military intelligence GUR of Ukraine. And this is the Crimean shore. So there was the missile strike on this boat, but Russians missed. Sorry, I'll switch off the music. So there is also the air defense system on a drone boat. Ukraine tried to shut down the enemy helicopter flying, but it was not successful strike, but helicopters went off because they scared, and Ukrainian boat did the main job, so it went close to peninsula. We have the front camera, the aft camera, and this box is been open already. The camera goes down, the drone goes up, like an air carrier, and flies off. And here's the standard FPV drone that operates close to the drone boat. The drone boat is transmitting the signal. Those are the Russian soldiers right at the shore. And the FPV drone is looking for the target. This is the complex Podlot. I wonder what is that. Well, maybe some of the radar or command center, and it was kaputted. Also, one more radar, Parole 4 or Password 4, was hit. Very nice job done by Ukrainian military intelligence and the Group 13. Also, the last night, Firm's fire satellites recorded several of the kabooms near Novorossiysk and also right in the sea, some of the vessel, 35 kilometers away from the bay. I wonder what kind of the vessel is that. For now, we have just the fire detection on territory of the oil port and in the sea. Well, Azov Media made a fantastic production video, the anti-advertisement to join the Russian army, showing a Russian guy who was brainwashed by the Russian TV to join the Russian army, and the outcome for him. You see the portrait of Putin, like, this is the classical Russian apartment. Special military operation and smoking kills. Army cigarettes. I have to cancel the sound because there is a copyright song, The Eye of a Tiger, of course, and here za победу, for the victory. So the guy is looking at, watching Russian propaganda, sign the contract, become a champion. Okay. Damn, I wish I would be able to play music here. Well, it's the standard Eye of a Tiger, and this guy is running like he's training with the drone. Yeah, training every day with the drone, how to avoid those, yeah. Pumping up with the drones, sign the contract with the Russian army, 2 million rubles. It's not too much, actually. They have contracts now for 7 million rubles. Okay, I'm on position, I need to go. You see this production, yeah? The camera job here, it's like Save Private Ryan. And our guys from Azov, look, one more champion. The champion runs. And this is the drone. Sorry guys, I cannot show you. Even though it's not a real image, but YouTube would think differently. The video is nice. Sadly I couldn't play the music. And in the end we have this compilation of the videos from real videos from the front lines of Azov, the first Azov Corps operation. They're drone operators, so the realities are like that. Rocky, the last, well, it is just art. Well, actually, there's the real training, and it is done in Ukrainian RS group, RS 57, maybe 57th Ukrainian Brigade. It is fantastic thing what they do. They get their soldiers familiar before they encounter the drones on a real battlefield. And even though there is no 100% weapon against the FPV drones, but this training minimizes the risks for the soldiers, and it should be done, I guess, elsewhere. So this is the drone, it is in this cage. Yeah, again, I'll switch off the music, because there could be some of the copyrights. So they work like how to evacuate from the vehicle, you see, how to split, not to stay at one place, how to hide from the drone, you see, in the bushes, and here's the real drone operator. He flies the drone, tries to hit, and yeah, of course, this soldier in the real combat, he would have lost his life. Yeah, if it was the real charge, the real shell, he would have gone, so he was caught like on this open field, open space. Oh my god. Yeah, just imagine this. I think it'd be like the worst PTSD ever. Well, at least there is some of the training, guys. And also there is the separate one of how to shut down those drones with the help of the shotguns mainly.
Systems hier in der ukrainischen Hauptstadt Kiew. Und man hört es hinter mir, während der Luftalarm jetzt gerade wieder...
Okay, so it seems like Robke is now not in build any longer. He left build and he started to work for unmanned system company that is producing drones. Robke is the well-known journalist, former journalist in build. So he left build. Now he's working for United Unmanned Systems, UUS. Interesting. So he changed his employ completely, but he will continue to report. Really like his look on the events. Sometimes like people complain that but for me he's okay. Well, sometimes, as many of the influencers, including me, he shares his own personal look on events, or for example, initially unconfirmed information, but later on, what I like about him, that he corrects himself, as I do here on this channel. So Robke is a great guy, and actually I think it's good for him that he left Build Media, because he can be media himself, like I'm here, Jake Bro, Kellen Robertson, and others. YouTubers, influencers who really speak about proper stuff. Alright guys, it's all what I want to tell in this video. Stand by for more updates, and guys, if you can, you may support my job on Patreon. The link for it is in the video description right below, or join membership of YouTube channel by pressing button join. Thank you guys, you're amazing and you're making this content possible. Also, don't forget to press like to this video and subscribe to the channel. We are on the way to reach 1 million subscribers, hopefully this year. Guys, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.